What is going on, Outlaws? Once again, Michael or Legacy Kill HD here, and today we have episode 1 of Red Dead Redemption's walkthrough. Here we are beginning with Exodus in America, following the story of John Marston. And you're going to be hearing me talk about Red Dead Redemption 2 a lot, making comparisons, bringing up things that we want to see within the title, and even talking about some of the characters within this game that should be having a return. But here we are in episode 1, going to be following this story. And we get introduced to this beautiful open world here in Blackwater. And obviously the evil agents taking John Marston in and putting him on his mission of redemption through the Wild West. Yeah, I think there's like a sense of mystery with all of this, wondering what exactly is going on with this outlaw, why are these agents walking him to this train, and what's he supposed to do? This will be my third or fourth time playing through this game, maybe fifth actually. But you get a sense of he has to do something for these agents.
For one, am grateful, Mrs. Bush, that they are finally bringing civilization to this savage land.
I could not agree with you more, my dear. My daddy settled this land, and I know he'll be looking down on us, pleased at how we help the natives.
Yes, they've lost their land, but they've gained access to heaven.
I always found it very interesting throughout this game, just hearing them talk
Father,
about the Native Americans in such a
innocent receives communion, they're destined to go to hell?
awful way, I guess you could say.
What I mean to say, Jenny, is that there is a great deal of difference between an innocent and a savage.
I never thought of it that way.
Yes, they lived like animals.
And here are some of the examples.
Not only do people now have motor cars, Father, but I heard that pretty soon we will be able to fly.
No, only angels can fly, Jenny.
No, apparently people can fly. Didn't you hear? Out in Kansas, a man even got a car to fly.
I hardly think so, Jenny.
The vast, beautiful open world, here we are.
Apparently, Mr. Johns wants to run for governor, which is why he's so concerned with cleaning up the state.
Nate Johns.
Yes.
His family is nothing but hillbilly trash that came here after the war. I don't want to be judgmental, but this state should not be ruled by such a disgusting family. A family without class.
Apparently, the Johns family have made a lot of money, and he has a lot of friends in politics.
Mrs. Bush, money isn't everything. There are many things that money cannot buy.
It seems that money can buy voters, though.
What you must remember, my dear, is that we have been brought here to spread the word. And the word and civilization, they are the same thing. They are the gifts. It is the opportunity we have, the chance to live among people who are decent and who do not kill each other, and who let you worship in peace.
It's so confusing, Father. Sometimes I find it impossible to make the distinction between a loving act and a hateful one. I mean, they often seem to be the same thing.
Yes, Jenny, it is confusing. But you only have to ask me if you need help.
Indeed.
Well, here we are, Mrs. Bush. Armadillo.
Probably one of the most intriguing parts of Red Dead Redemption's this location. I don't know why, I just found it always interesting going to Armadillo. It reminds me of so many other westerns, but here we are, we're off. Getting off the train here at Armadillo Station. Just look at this amazing open world. Even though this game was made, I believe in 2010 or 11, I know that the development went all the way to, I think back to 2005. It's just so amazing how it still holds up nowadays.
Marston! Mr. Marston, over here! You must be John Marston.
Sometimes.
I'm Jake. Your friends from Blackwater hired me to guide you.
They ain't my friends, but pleased to meet you, Jake.
I got the horses saddled up and ready out front.
Big song coming our way.
Let's see what I got for a loadout. And just the Cattleman revolver.
Well, here, let's mount up and hit the trail. Is that right?
Come on!
Take it easy until we're out of town. Ain't no point in causing a ruckus.
You tell me, Jake. You tell me. Go a little too fast.
So it's Fort Mercy you want to visit?
That's right.
Ain't taking nobody up to the fort in a long time. Strange place for a decent fella to want to visit, if you don't mind me saying.
Who said I was a decent fella?
It's been abandoned for years now. Folks say it was built during the Mexican War. What kinds of soldiers around back then?
Why'd they leave?
Well, I ain't entirely sure. I heard they had to go up north to fight
I always found it
Indians.
interesting because of
Maybe
all the
they got
mentions to
tired
the
of
Native
being
American
soldiers and went
population. You would
looking for
expect this game
gold.
was going to have a
You
heavier
know how
presence with
things
it, but it
is.
never really did.
So what
Just
are
found
you
that
doing up at the
interesting.
fort?
I'm looking for an old friend.
Well, like I says, you ain't gonna find many folk around those parts these days. Those you do find are about as sociable as an ulcerated back tooth. I mean, I ain't one to judge a man by the company he keeps, but...
Well, he ain't been friends for a long time.
Let's move this along a little.
Come on.
Nothing against Jake.
Are you planning on spending any time in Armadillo, Mr. Marston? Wait, Mr. Marston!
I think I went a little too far ahead of Jake.
Without me!
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was the marshal who hired me, Lee Johnson. Do you know him?
I think I heard his name.
Says he got a telegram from some Blackwater big bugs asking for a guide. I guess it's none of my business.
That's right.
I know there was a lot of people out there that played when they played Red Dead Redemption. From a Rockstar Games perspective, they didn't really expect how dark
You
it
ain't
would
very
be.
talkative, are you?
Nope.
I'm just chewing the dog, mister. It's how I am. I don't mean nothing by it.
Trust me. There's things you're better off not knowing.
Going back to the dark thing, it was just always I felt it was a good thing. I loved seeing what Rockstar Games did with this. I know that this was like the Hooser brothers, the guys that, those are the guys that really wrote this
You
game.
don't look much like no Blackwater fella.
It's
That's
just such an
because I
intriguing story. It's
I'm
going to be
being
fun
honest,
going through this with you
I don't care
guys.
much for those highfalutin big city types. Not much at all.
Blackwater ain't much of a city. More of a town with delusions, but no, me neither.
I'll tell you, Mr. Marston, those coyotes eat better than I do. Not far now. You'll see the fort when you get to the top of this hill.
There it is, Fort Mercer.
Whoa.
Listen, mister. This here is what's left of Fort Mercer. Some gang rode in and took the place over.
So I understand.
This is where we part ways, friend. You have yourself a good time.
Here we go.
Let's go. Bill! Bill, I've come for you! Bill Williamson! Come out here right now!
Go away now, John. Don't make me kill you.
Nobody needs to kill anyone, Bill.
You must think I was born yesterday. You always did think I was an idiot.
That ain't fair, Bill. You were as my brother. I've come to try to save you.
Oh. Do I look like I need saving?
Bill,
Oh,
please.
Bill.
They want to kill us all. I can help you.
Well, you never tried to save me before. You only seemed to save yourself.
Bill, I implore you think about this.
You implore me? You implore me. You always were one for fancy words. Oh. Well, things are different now, John. Now I'm in charge. No more Dutch. And no more you. Implores. I implores you to go back and tell them to send someone just a little bit more impressive next time.
Well?
Oh. Poor kid.
Never understood why he took that gun out. I mean, just saying, there's 3 guys above you. The logic would be that he would probably lose that no matter what. And here's the saviors of John Marston keeping him alive. And our first introduction to Bonnie McFarlane. So far, you can get an understanding of what he's having to face. He's having to go back and go after his former friends, like you could say. Or at least they were at one point.
Well, you're alive.
So it would seem.
So, how do you feel?
I don't know the polite word for it.
I do. Stupid is the word we use around here. What were you doing?
I was doing something stupid.
Well, you'll be okay. Once you didn't die, the doctor said you'd be fine. He got the bullets out a couple days ago.
Good.
It cost us $15.
I'm sorry, madam. Should have left me there to die.
Did you want to die? I mean, was that it? Was that why you went straight out to Fort Mercer and picked a fight with the worst bandit in the county? To die, Mr.
Mr. Marston. John Marston.
Bonnie McFarlane. Miss Bonnie McFarlane.
Well, you may be right, Miss McFarlane.
Almost seems like she wanted to make sure she put that out
So
there.
what were you doing?
I was trying to give Mr. Williamson a chance. for old time's sake.
You know Bill Williamson?
Knew him. Long time ago.
Well, what was he like?
Dumb.
Just like you.
Thank you, miss. See my hat?
I have. And, what will you do now?
Now I'm gonna take my time and go after him the less kind way.
Well, that sounds very fun, Mr. Marston. Quite heroic, just like in those penny dreadfuls my brother used to read. Meanwhile, if you'll excuse me, I've got a ranch to run. Of course, if you're feeling better, why not take a ride with me later? Help me patrol the perimeter. You can earn back some of that money we wasted on doctor's bills.
Of course. And thank you for saving my life, I mean.
Next time, Mr. Marston, I strongly recommend you don't try to lose it quite so earnestly.
I'll bear that in mind.
Here we are. We'll head over to Bonnie McFarlane and help her watch the perimeter. I think I may have to play with the settings a little bit later.
Mr. Marston, back in the land of the living, I see.
Figured it's about time I started paying back that $15.
Well, no time to waste. The horses are saddled up over here. There's the foreman's office. It's also where we lock up good-for-nothing outlaws, such as yourself.
I'm happy enough with my current quarters right now, Miss McFarlane.
Come on, then. I'll show you around the property.
Go!
Taking a look at the McFarlane stead. Or Hannigan said, my bad. Play with some of the settings real fast. Okay, I think everything's looking pretty decent right now.
To your right is the general store. You won't find Parisian high fashion, but it's good for the essentials.
Very convenient. I don't think I've ever seen a ranch with its own store before. Come on!
And here's the corral. This one's for the horses. What do you think?
I'm no expert, but it certainly looks like a fine corral.
I suspect you've stolen more horses than you've broken.
Now, where'd you get such an idea?
First impressions are hard to erase. That's the train station. Things sure have changed since the line finally got finished, bringing in all sorts of new folk like yourself.
Is that such a bad thing?
Change is only good when it makes things better.
Civilization taking over the West. First it was trains, then there was cars, and then later on, after all of this, you pass this story, planes.
That's the barn over there. Paul built it himself when I was just a little girl.
Come on!
And here we are, back at the house. Let's stop for a while before we head out on patrol.
You'll get no complaints from me, Miss McFarlane.
What are you waiting for? Come on, I don't bite. How about a cold drink, Mr. Marston?
Thank you, ma'am. Getting shot, then riding a horse seems to take it out of you. I could use a rest.
Sure. Come on in. I'll show you the house, and then you can sit for a while.
Thank you.
Mr. Marston,
Miss McFarlane.
remember me telling you about the trouble we've been having with rustlers and other undesirables?
I do.
Will you help me keep watch on the property line this evening?
Sure.
I want to see just who is trespassing on our land.
This is a fine weapon.
Come, let's head out. The country is really beautiful at around this time.
Finally, here we'll get some nice action.
Come on, then. Let's mount up and take a look around.
Don't want to point it at somebody.
Right, follow me. Keep your eyes peeled for anything suspicious. Thank you, Mr. Marston. I feel a lot happier someone's along with me.
I feel a lot happier now I got a rifle.
Well, with your trigger itch and my feminine intuition, we should make quite a team.
Probably the best part of Red Dead Redemption, honestly, were some of these missions. I mean, they were slower, but I don't know why I found it so interesting working with the McFarlanes. Not just Bonnie, but also Drew, that we'll be introduced to soon.
Look, those damn rabbits are at the crops again. Get down and give me a hand, will you? That's it. Kill those little vermin.
There we go.
Thank you, Mr. Marston. Looks like we'll be having rabbit stew tomorrow. Let's mount up and patrol the rest of the property.
Just checking to see if we could skin them yet, but I don't think that's gonna allow us.
Let's get going. We've still got plenty of ground to cover.
It's a nice introduction to the gameplay element of Red Dead Redemption.
If it's not the rustlers stealing our cattle, it's the rabbits stealing our crops.
It ain't never easy living off the land like this. Maybe you should move to a big city. Become a lady of leisure.
Was that a coyote? Get those pests before they scare the livestock. Come on, they're headed for the chicken coop.
Let's go.
Whoa there.
Slow it up now.
And that is them all.
Looks like that was the last of the coyotes. Just a shame we had to lose any of the chickens. Come on, I'll show you the way to your room.
Come on.
You know, you can actually handle a rifle.
It's something I've had a little experience in.
Maybe Bill Williamson did get lucky after all.
Luck didn't really come into it, miss.
You're a useful man to have around the ranch, that's for sure. But don't think I've forgotten what brought you here. We'll do whatever we can to help you.
I sure appreciate that, Miss McFarlane.
This is you, Mr. Marston.
Oops.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Marston. Makes me kind of happy I saved your life. Get some sleep and I will see you in the morning.
Good night, Miss McFarlane.
Please be aware of a social disease carried by a certain young lady.
Alright guys, I think that's where we're going to end episode 1, just a little bit of an intro to the story and the overall game. I'm sure there'll be a lot more action to come, but I want to thank you so much for watching. If you have not already, make sure you smack that like button for a lot more videos like this, and I got some more content coming here on my second channel. If you have any ideas for this walkthrough to make it a little better, just let me know in the comments. I think this will be my first time doing a walkthrough for a game, and I think this is probably the best game to start with. I mean, such an amazing experience that we're going to be going through. So if you haven't experienced the Wild West, well, here's your chance, and we'll be going through it every episode. So anyway, Outlaws, I'll see you later.